Alice Domar is a health psychologist and expert in stress and reproductive health. Alice, good to see you.
Good morning.
Now, it's reported, some studies report 67% of all couples report feeling stressed trying to conceive. So, in reality, what role does stress play?
Well, it actually plays a fair amount of stress. I mean, it may not just affect your reproductive system, but it may affect your desire to try to make a baby.
Mm-hmm. So, are we overplaying the role of stress?
Yeah, in fact, a study came out last June that showed that Americans think that the #1 reason for infertility is stress. Which, you know, stress plays a role, but not that big a role.
Well, how about this for stress? I mean, you're spending this money to go on this conception moon and say, all right, relax and let's make a baby.
I know.
I mean, that sounds stressful in and of itself.
Well, that worries me too, because if you spend a lot of money to go away, first of all, how are you so sure you're going to get mid-cycle? I mean, women's cycles are not that regular. And B, you know, what if you've had a little too much to drink? Or is this too much pressure? But it works.
So why do you think this thing is working? They're reporting 40% of couples going on this, it seems to work for. Why?
Which is extraordinary, by the way. 40% per cycle conception rate is astronomically high. So it is working. And I think about your everyday life. You know, you wake up tired, you're slammed in traffic, your boss is cranky, you've come home and the dog has thrown up, and then your wife says, now. So, you know, maybe that's not the most ideal way to conceive a baby.
Now, are there folks that this might not be a good idea for?
Well, it's not a good idea if you don't really have the money to go away. It's not a good idea if her cycles are not regular. And it's not really a good idea if you're going to stress about it. You know, to say, okay, we have to get pregnant this month. You know, then you have to sort of look into your gut and see, am I the right kind of person to try it? Although I have to say the 4 out of 10 is amazing.
And at what point do you try this? I mean, as opposed to, say, if you've been having trouble getting some medical intervention or getting checked out, you know, reproductively.
Well, you know, if you're under 35, you can play for a year. If you're over 35, you can play for 6 months, and then you need to see a doctor.
And what quick suggestions would you suggest for folks who maybe can't get away for a conception moon?
You can get away at home. You know, if you have a child already, ship them off to grandma. No errands, no nasty social obligations. You know, put a fire in the fireplace, get a good bottle of wine. You know, try it in a different room in the house. You know, you can add romance and fun in your own home.
All right. Well, Alice Domar, thanks so much. A lot of good advice.